Welcome back to Northern Perspective, everybody. We have a very special live stream as we have a 2021 national champion for elimination race and cycling, 2021 national champion in team pursuit, 2022 national champion in individual pursuit, 2022 national champion in scratch race, as well as team pursuit, as well as team sprint. And in 2023, she was named to Team Canada for the World Junior Team. In 2023, she was national champion in team pursuit. In 2025, at the Gastown Grand Prix, she placed second overall. And in 2025, in the Tour de Bloom, she placed first best young rider, which is under the age of 23, in stage 1, and 9th overall. Why do we go through all of these accomplishments for this young lady? Because we want to convey just how good she is, and she is a rising star in the Canadian cycling world. And we are so privileged to have her on Northern Perspective, not just because of her athletic accolades, but she's also an active conservative, campaigning for Ned Curic and many other conservatives in the recent election. And she embodies the Canadian and conservative spirit of resiliency and toughness and grit. And that's what we all need right now. So hang on to your hats, folks. You're about to meet Vanessa Monrichard. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Northern Perspective, and I'm Ryan.
And I'm Tanya.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is Vanessa Monrichard. Vanessa, welcome to Northern Perspective.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. Before we get into the show, I do want to go over the rules with everybody. They are the same three as always. Number 1, please respect each other and the show. Number 2, no selling, soliciting, or spamming in the chat. And number 3, please do not use profanity. For moderators this evening, we have Randy, Cujo, and Barnaby will be joining us in a little bit. So if you see any issues in chat, please let one of the moderators know.
All right. We're getting an
continue.
echo. We're getting an echo, apparently.
Oh.
This is always fun.
See, it's funny because I was saying that we always have problems with the sound. It's never the video.
It's probably because it's coming through yours and Vanessa's at the same time. So hopefully that's a little better. It's funny because people always complain about the sound. And this is always fun on Northern Perspective. All right. Hold on, folks. I got to see what's going on here. All right. Let me see. I got to listen
Somebody
to
says better now.
It's better now?
Saying better.
Fixed. Fixed is good.
Okay. Excellent.
Okay.
I was telling Vanessa beforehand, because we were doing our audio checks. We actually did them tonight, and everything was working well. And I said, it's always the audio that gets us. It's never the video.
Okay. Looks like we're okay.
Excellent. What I was going to say is that sadly we will not have question period tonight, but I promise we'll make it up to you guys next week.
Okay. So, for everyone who's joining late, you know, you're going to have some interesting initial thoughts here. So, okay. It's better, but still an echo. All right. So, let's see what's going on here.
Somebody says to turn on the flux capacitor. That was from Stefan C.
Thanks, Stefan. It's wonderful. We'll do it live. Northern Perspective. Northern Perspective. All right, folks. Now, I got to turn the sound on my laptop, so this can be fun. Okay, I hear what people are talking about. Hear what people are talking about. All right, I'm not going to hear it for a little bit, so what I'm going to do is this. And then do that.
Like this?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, folks. Just bear with us for a minute. Because it takes about 30 seconds.
No, it's not 30. It's about 10.
Still listening, and I'm like following behind. So that's better. I think we're good.
Some people are saying it was my mic exclusively.
Okay. So maybe yours was just too close. Okay.
Okay. Hopefully we've got it solved, guys.
All right. Okay. I've turned Vanessa's mic up a little bit, so anyway, you just project when you speak.
All right, take two.
Take two. All right. Here we go. Anyway, do you want to continue what you were saying, Tanya?
Yes, that I'm sorry that we can't do question period tonight, but we're going to make up for it next week. I promise. You can hold me to that. And the rules are pinned. You should know the rules by now, but they are there at the bottom now of the chat. They decided to move it, so my echo is back.
It's because of this. So this is what we're gonna do. So I turned it down. I turned Vanessa's down, so you'll just have to speak right into the mic so it doesn't pick anything up. So hopefully that should solve it, folks. Normally we don't have people this close, but yeah. So I hear Tanya's on the echo, so hopefully we should be good to go now.
Somebody says shut off Quest mic.
Shut off Quest mic? What?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. So. I'm just listening, folks. Stop giving cred to the right echo chamber. Okay. So, okay. So we just project, and that's all there is going to be to it. Shut off the guest mic. So, you know what? Maybe here's the other option.
We can share one.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
I think that's what we'll do. So
Just go like that.
That one only.
now that should solve it permanently. There we go. Where there's a will, there is a way. So we'll be all right now, folks. So okay.
Except there's a boom arm in my face, but that's okay.
I can fix that if you want. Just put it down. No. Push this part down and pull the mic up.
And pull the mic up.
Yeah, like that.
Like this.
Yeah. But you normally have yours down.
Yeah. Sorry, Vanessa, it's not usually like this.
We're going to do this. Vanessa and I will share.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay. So, and I'm going to make sure that this is not going to... There we go. So this should be picking up both Vanessa and myself. Hooray! So, okay, folks. Welcome back to Northern Perspective.
Take three.
Take three. Take three. So, and yes, live streams are fun. Live streams are also stressful because this is when this crap happens.
Always.
It didn't happen on the recording, and I have other witnesses in the room that can attest to that. So, anyhow, so one of the main reason that we wanted to chat tonight and why we want to bring Vanessa on is because we first met. I think it was at it was at one of the booths. I think it was what was the event? It was something in the creek.
It was Boots in the Creek.
Boots in the Creek.
Yeah.
Yeah, Boots in the Creek. And I think that's when we first met you. Is that right?
I believe so. I think you came in the office one time before that, but Yeah.
Okay. So we just met this young lady, and I think you were 19. Were you still 19? And it was the middle of summer, and she was just helping out, and okay, fine, young conservative lady, which we were excited because it's great to have young people actually getting involved. And then we ran into Vanessa a couple times after that and met her lovely mom. And at one point, I think I saw Ned share a post or someone online, or maybe I just came across it because our phones are listening to us all the time, and something came up for Vanessa Montrichard, Team Canada. I'm like, what? Team Canada, what the heck is this? So started looking into it, and sure enough, this ordinary young lady that we met is not so ordinary. And that just blew our minds that she was an elite or upcoming elite athlete coming through Canada's cycling system. So that's amazing.
Thank you.
And the thing that I think I liked the most about it, folks, is she doesn't brag about it. We didn't know. And it's, some people would go around telling everyone, hey, did you know? Did you know? Did you know? But Vanessa is not like that. Like, humble as humble can be. So, and not that it's a bad thing, but what makes you so humble about it?
I'm not sure. I just never really liked talking about it, or I guess mixing the two worlds. Like, when I go to work or canvassing, I would never go out and tell someone I'm a cyclist. Like, if they'd find out because maybe my mom told them I was at a race or something. And when I'm with like the other side, like cycling or whatever, like, I don't talk about politics. So I guess keep those two things separate. And then when people find out, I'm like, oh yeah.
Well, you're 20 years old.
Yep.
And this is what kind of blows my mind, because we were talking before the live stream, and you were saying, well, you only really got into this in 2020. You would cycle for fun before that, but you really only started getting serious about this in 2020. And then your dad was saying, oh yeah, and like a year later she wins national champion. Like, how do you go from saying, okay, I think I'm going to give this cycling thing a whirl, to 1 year later you're a national champion? Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it happened really fast. In a way I wasn't expecting it, but different way. I guess when I got there, I wanted the result. But yeah, leading up into nationals, I trained super hard every single day. Like, wouldn't take a break. I don't know if it was an obsession or something, but
I think your dad would say it's obsession.
Yeah. Yes, I would just train, get better. And yeah, 2021 was my first national championships over in Milton at the track. And the team I was with, it was an elite team, and there's a lot of good riders on there. Another rider from Hamilton, she was really good. Lots of national championships over different disciplines. And a few other teammates, another couple guys did really well. So all weekend I was just watching them do really well. And I think I was really strong when I got there already. Like, for the first, my first race, individual pursuit, I haven't even like really done it before. I almost got third. I got fourth, so almost podium. I was like super close, and I was just, instead of being happy, I was just like annoyed and mad. And I would see my teammates just like get medals and podiums on and on and on. I'm like, oh my god. And the last day for bunch racing, I remember, was like the last opportunity to earn like an individual medal, which is what I really wanted. And winning team pursuit and team sprint is great, but like it's something different about winning like a individual medal. So I remember it was like, I think I had a race in the morning, and then I got to go home for like a couple hours to rest and then go back to the track. And I remember going home, and I was just like really upset. I was talking to my parents. I was like, oh, I just want a medal. Like, I just want a medal. Like, I want a bronze. I was thinking about the bronze because I thought that's the only thing I could get. I'm like, oh, like, I was just going on and on about it. I think I was crying about it. Went home, and then I came back to the track for elimination race, and my coach at the time told me, like, I think you can win this. So he kind of gave me and my other teammate like a strategy, and it worked out well. He was from the sidelines. He was like literally screaming and swearing because I was getting really close to like the bronze medal, and then I had the bronze medal. I thought to myself, okay, I have the bronze medal, and then I got the second medal in second place. And I remember the entire time I was pushing wind, which is really hard because you can save 20 to 30% of energy in the back, but I was in the front of the race the whole time. So really the girl who came second to me should have won because she was on my wheel the whole time. But I just remember thinking like the jersey, I'm like, I'm gonna get the jersey, and she almost passed me, and then something came across me and I just passed her at the end. So that was my first national championship medal, and that was like a moment I'll never forget.
So, and just so everybody knows, Vanessa was 16 when this happened. Like, this is the crazy part to me. Like, because I'm an old fogey now, I think you're in your mid-20s when this happened. But no, you were 16 years old when you won your first national championship. At the time, you're probably not thinking about it that way. But you went from, I guess, in 24 hours, mad that you didn't place to now you're national champion. What was that like?
That was crazy. I mean, I've never won anything like that before. Like, nothing of I didn't even it's not like I started small and like did some Ontario Cups or anything like that, because it was COVID. There was no racing, so this was like the first race back from COVID. So the feeling from being like, I guess, a no one in the sport, and then like everyone knows you in like a short amount of time was like, it was crazy.
Okay, well, before we get into anything else, let me get through a couple of these administrative items here. So Sherry McNiven, welcome to NP supporter, thank you. Jessica Van Luke, member for 9 months, seen Dana White's press conference last night, was talking about Maya and what it will look like. She was sitting up and playing on her iPad. That's amazing. We wish Maya and her family all the good fortune in the world, and continue to wish her a speedy recovery. Jessica Van Luke for $7. Close game between the Habs and the Lightning in overtime now. Go Habs and Captain Suzuki. Oh my goodness, I'm going to have to cheer for the Senators or the Habs. Wait a minute. No, I'm not going to. I'm just going to cheer for the Habs because I will never cheer for the Senators. Sorry, Ottawa. That's for those that are wondering. Many know this, but the only thing that Leafs fans and Habs fans can agree on is that we don't cheer for the Ottawa Senators. That's about the only thing. We will cheer for each other over the Ottawa Senators, but that's the only time is if we're not in the playoffs. Jessica Van Luke for $2.79. Habs win. There you go. Congrats to all the Habs fans out there. Peter Whitten for $5. Oh dear, this is going to be awesome. Let's rock this stream, NP Nation, and let's bring it home. Amen to that. And the Immigrant Beaver Hades for $2. Hi to the champ in the middle. Watch for kitties. Oh yeah, watch for the cats. Yeah.
Oh, Pixel came out earlier and made herself known, so you've already met Pixel.
And Jessica Van Luke for $7. Update on Willow. She is 8 weeks, so she is getting close. Either this week or next week. She is so affectionate lately. We'll send pictures soon. That's the Preggers cat that Jessica's talking about.
Well, I hope that Willow has a fast and complication-free delivery, and I really can't wait to see those kittens.
And Jessica Van Luke for $2.79. I hope Vanessa is LA 2028 bound. What do you think about that?
I hope so too.
I know it's technically not up to you, but
yeah.
But you do have a way to influence that. So
yeah.
So what do you think it would take for you to get to LA 2028?
It'd take a lot of things to go right. Everything has to fall in line. It would take me to do really well at nationals next year, and then hopefully get selected for Nations Cup and then Pan Am Games. Yeah, not championships, games, which is like a little mini mock Olympics, and then probably World Championships. So everything has to fall in line. A lot of hard work, tons of hard work. But yeah.
And you need to basically prove you're one of the best in Canada for that to happen.
Yes, in the elite level.
And what's your training schedule look like?
My training schedule is it's like, my coach is pretty intense. He gives me like 7 days a week, so there's a couple easy days, but 7 days a week I do riding and with like, groups around Hamilton or whoever, but
so you were training today before you came here?
Yes.
And yesterday, obviously, since it's 7 days
yeah.
a week. So
Sometimes he gives me a day off.
Are you training outside in the wintertime?
No, not in Ontario. Sometimes like I'll go to Arizona for a race early in the season, but definitely not outside. Like today I did go outside. That was like the first time. A little bit cold, but yeah, usually in the indoor trainer. Which can be
Nice.
fun.
HC Dave for $10 says, shout out to a fellow cyclist. Bike packing / dirt jumping. My highest achievements are Calgary, Winnipeg, and landing a 360 backflip. Huge respect
Wow.
for competitive cycling. Healing some broken ribs now.
Oh,
Ouch.
yikes.
Yeah, maybe I'll use this
It's a
one.
bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for us.
I wish you all the well in getting, or all the luck in getting better, HC
Yes,
Dave.
I have heard broken ribs are very painful because like every time you breathe, you're getting that. Well, I don't want to say re-injuring, but it hurts.
Yikes.
So, want to show a couple of pictures. So here's the first one. So this is this at the juniors?
Yes, that was my first world champion. That was 2022 World Championships. Yes.
So who are your teammates here?
Right beside me was a girl from Quebec, Penelope. Beside her was Madeline. She's from Ontario. And beside her is Kiara from Ontario, and then Taylor from Ontario. So mostly Ontario.
And all of them are between the ages of what, 14, 16, or are they all 16?
Between 16 and 18.
Oh, 16, 18.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I was 16, and three of us were 16, I think, and the other one was 18.
That's amazing. Amazing you're selected to be part of Team Canada World Juniors at 16,
Yes.
given that that's the age range. Wow. And here's another one. So this is obviously the team at the World Juniors, right?
Yes, I'm the third one.
Nice. So you're right at the back with
Yes.
the well, I guess the second. You're on the right.
Yes.
This one.
Not the last one, but yeah.
And what's this?
This was after the first stage of Tour de Bloom. It was a road race around almost 100 kilometers. And I got the best young riders jersey, crossed the line in 9th, which was, I guess, good enough for the young riders jersey. And the girl on the left, she was a pro on EF, and she was an Olympian, super strong.
So let's talk about that jersey, because I've learned more about cycling in the last 24 hours than I think I ever knew before. So why don't you explain to everybody what a white jersey is? Because when I was reading about this, there was an article and it was talking about you, and it said Vanessa was presented with a white jersey, and I thought, okay, what's the big deal of a white jersey? So anyway, so here's the jersey.
Yeah, so it kind of comes from, well, I don't know if you ever watched like Tour de France.
Yep.
They have the leader is in the yellow jersey. The best sprinter is in the green jersey. The best climber is in like a polka dot jersey, and the best young rider is in the white jersey. So this is what that is at a UCI event. So, yeah.
So
Pretty
this
cool.
is given to the best performing junior rider, basically.
Under 23, yes.
Under
Yeah.
23. So, and where is Tour de Bloom?
It's in Monachi, Washington.
So that so for stage 1, you were the best performing rider
Under
in,
23.
and you came 9th overall.
Yes. As a field, I think 130 girls.
130, and these people, like, they weren't just 18-year-olds, right?
No. No.
So these were people probably between 18 and say 35-ish.
Yep, that sounds right. Yep.
So, and at the time that you were competing, you were
19.
So you were 9th overall, racing against people that are 10 to 15 years older than you.
Yes.
That's insanity.
Wow, that
Vanessa.
was a crazy part.
That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. And we asked Vanessa to bring some of her accolades with us, or with her. So instead of the kitty cam, we have the bling cam over here. And this is what it looks like. And we're going to zoom in a little bit more. So this is a lot of the accolades that you've actually won. And many of these are, I imagine, some of what I cited in the introduction.
Yes.
Yeah. And the jersey itself, what is that?
That is the jersey awarded to the national champion of that race.
Wow. And that's you obviously framed underneath, correct?
Yes.
And the plaque, what does that say, the race and the year and that sort of thing?
Yeah, that was just, I think, 2021 and 2. At that time, I made the plaque. I didn't do 2023, but yeah, that's just the races that I won gold in.
That's amazing. And is that the first race you ever won in nationals? Is that what that jersey is?
Yes, that's the first one.
Worthy of framing.
Yep.
Now, there is a medal on the right. It is not gold, but I'm glad that Vanessa brought it because we're going to talk about it. And this is Vanessa here at that race, I believe.
Yes,
correct?
Correct.
So right in center frame there, you can see her with the white helmet and the white and neon yellow jersey and the, I'm not going to say conservative blue shoes, I'm going to say something else. The very noticeable blue shoes. So why are we talking about this? Because this race, this is called the Gastown Grand Prix. This is in 2025. And approaching the end of the race, I don't believe you were in top 3 at that point.
No, I was last lap going into the finish. I was like in a pretty bad position actually. I was in the back. The team had a plan for me to be like the main person, like a lead out. The lead out is like usually the sprinter. But I wasn't on the girl's wheel I was supposed to be because she went on the right side and I did not want to go on the right side. I was just kind of navigating the field myself. But one of my other teammates was on the left side. So coming into the last, it's like a lot of corners, and I somehow got on her wheel and then used her as like a rush the gap, and came around her and launched a sprint. Maybe a little too late. Maybe if I launched it a little bit earlier, I would have won because I came across the line with a lot of speed.
Well, let's see what happened at the very end. Okay, so something really, really, really crazy happened here, and this is what happened. So remember, Vanessa is in blue shoes, white helmet. She was really far back, as she was talking about, and this is the finish line, and the finish line is that white line that is on the road. Vanessa is literally right next to the leader. So I would say that that person is no longer the leader. And this was basically a photo finish, or was supposed to be. But the problem is that they didn't have equipment there to have a photo finish, right? They were relying off of someone's cell phone camera. And there's another video that it was in pretty low resolution, but which is why we're not going to show it. But it was, you can actually hear the commentators, and they called you winning. Mm-hmm. And a lot of other people called you winning as well. But you did not end up with the gold. You ended up with that second place.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because I hadn't watched the video. I hadn't known about this race when I had asked Vanessa for some media, including a video, and I'd said, do you have any pictures? Do you have any video? So she sent me this YouTube video, and I said, oh, did you win this race? And she's like, that's debatable.
No.
But no, she was. Listen, this race is actually very important for the context, I think, of this whole live stream and what's going on in Canada. Because I see that race as almost how the 2025 election went. As much as, the Conservatives were down 28 seats from a majority. The vast majority of those seats were only separated by like hundreds of votes. It was a very, 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 very close race. And that's where you were at. So here you were thinking probably that you may have won or were close to winning.
Mm-hmm.
Talk us through what happened right after you crossed the finish line and up until the moment that you stepped on the podium.
Right after the finish line, I was just in shock. Like, I know my team director said, like, go for the win, settle for podium, but I wasn't really expecting that. And I was pretty shocked, so I just, like, congratulated him. I just said, I don't know, I gave fist bumps to my teammates, and then I just, like, wanted to, like, get out of the crowd, so I just, like, went off somewhere else to ride and try to get through. It was really hard to get through the crowd. It was like 30,000 all crowded in the street, so it was really hard for me to get through the crowd. But yeah, I just went to go like be by myself. I think I called my dad, and then my team director Barry, he went to go fight the officials for like an hour because he thought I won, and the officials love him. But yeah, they ended up having a cell phone camera. I think, yeah, if you look from the front, it looks like I got it because I came, like, it was really close and I came with a lot of speed, so I crossed after. But they don't look, they don't look from the side, which the side looked like I won. They look at the front, and I think you can see her wheel was just like a tiny bit over. I think my dad looked at the video the picture 1,000 times. He's like, no, she got it, so I'll take it.
So you accepted, let's just say, second place gracefully.
Yeah.
And because there's really no other option, right? It's not like the officials are going to overturn their decision. So
no, yeah.
So, did you think you'd won when you crossed the finish line?
I thought, I think I thought maybe, but I wasn't for sure. The first place girl was celebrating, but then she realized maybe she didn't win, so we both were kind of unsure. I was hoping, but I thought to myself, there's a possibility that I could just get second. Yeah, deal with it.
And your overall goal, is it to get to the Olympics?
I would say so. That's a big goal. Yeah.
So this is where I find it interesting because, like politics, you have to plan a long way out, right?
Yeah.
And you have to have a training regimen. You have to know exactly what you're doing almost every day leading up to that, and you have to get your nutrition in a good stead. And we won't talk about what we have for dinner. There was kale in it, so
it's pretty healthy.
It was,
Except for the cupcakes.
but there is a plan and there's a strategy, and although every race up to then is important and you take it seriously, there's that one goal. Like that's what everything is leading up to.
Yeah, I mean, I just try to, like, I don't know, live in the moment and take it in as I go along, because it's a lot. If you look at it, it's like 4 years away, and if you do it or don't do it, it's like a lot of stress. So I try not to like think about it and talk like that. I wouldn't like go around saying like, yeah, I want to go to the Olympics, because it's just kind of scary for me to say, but we'll see.
So is that why you're so humble? Because you just want to say, you know what, I'm just going to work my butt off every single day
and see what comes out of it.
And then tomorrow's another day, and then you restart.
Yeah, pretty much.
So what about these races where you train really hard, you go out, but you don't get that result? Is it tough? Is it tough, accepting that? Is it tough getting back on the bike, or does it just give you that much more determination?
Yeah, sometimes it's really hard, like, especially when you've trained so hard and you think you're going to do well. And cycling's a sport. It's not like running where you run and you pretty much know what time you're going to run or swim. It's like there's a lot of factors involved, like drafting, strategy, a lot. So it's a sport where you often lose more than you win. But yeah, I've had races where I've done bad, and then motivation, I get motivated after to train harder. Actually, funny enough, a week before Gastown, same kind of race. I went over to Canadian Road Nationals, and they had the same kind of race, a crit. It's like a short 1 kilometer circuit where you go over and over and over again. My team like knows that I'm a good sprinter, and that would be my best race. So obviously the hope was for me to win or get a podium. That was such a tough race. I didn't even finish. That was really hard. Like it was just horrible. Like I thought like this is a race that I'm supposed to be doing really well at, and it just all fell apart, and I felt really bad. And I didn't even want to go to Gastown because Gastown was just like a week after that, or a week and a half after that. So I was like, I don't even know if I should be doing this anymore. Like, what's the point? And I was not gonna go. But my team wanted me to go, and my dad forced me to go. he said I could do really well, and he told me I should go. So then I went, and yeah, I'm glad I went. So getting up after a week and pulling that off, because that race is actually, I would say getting second at that race is better than getting second at nationals, because it's a massive crowd, lots of riders from US and Canada, so it's like the most prestigious crit in North America, and all the crits happen in North America, so it's like one of the biggest crits ever, basically. So I was happy I did well there instead of nationals.
So question, how do you travel with your bike?
So I just I have to unbuild it again, take off the wheels, I take off my derailleur, my headset, pack it in a box. I have a hard case, and then you get there and you have to build it back up again. So I know how to build my bike up.
So you basically pack it in luggage, and then you check
exactly.
your bag.
Yeah, exactly. Oversized, yeah.
and then away it goes. And the interesting thing about the juniors in 2022 is that was over in Israel, right?
Yes.
So that was in Tel Aviv. So bicycling takes you all over the world.
Yeah, so I've been to a lot of countries, probably like close to 8 different countries. Yeah.
And although there are sponsors, for the younger you are, usually the less sponsors that you get. So there is out-of-pocket expenses. So it's not like you get to travel around for free, right? So
no. Yeah. So. Cycling's a very expensive sport. No one gets in it for the money.
But this is this is where I just become like really, really impressed in that every race, as you say, like it's not like some of the other sports where it's the same people that are at the top every single race, because there's so many variables that happen. So you can have someone who's considered like the best cyclist in the world. That doesn't mean they're going to be winning the race, right?
No, yeah, for sure. Yeah, no.
So what factors could go into that that would affect that result?
From an amateur winning a race?
Sure.
Well, I guess everything has to go right. Like, say you're betting on the best rider winning. The best rider could, get a flat, or they could crash. Or what could happen is some riders can go up the road. Some riders who you wouldn't put into the favorites, like just some like lower key riders, they can go up the road and have a breakaway. So let's just say 3 riders go up the road. They're all working super hard to get away. But the field behind is, it's kind of like playing games. Like no one wants to work, or no one wants to expend all the energy to catch up to them. And before you know it, they have like 2 minutes up the road, and a bunch of riders who weren't the favorites won the race. That happened in the Olympics in 2021 or 2. I can't believe a rider who they didn't actually know she went up the road. Like, she went up the road, but I think the riders in the back forgot. So you had this like no one, and then she won the Olympics. So that was kind of crazy. Yeah,
and I have to admit, I have not been a cyclist connoisseur in watching race after race, but I do recall seeing some races where some of the strategy is people just take off right away, but most times everyone kind of takes off, but they're conserving their energy and kind of letting the field kind of play out to see what they're going to do and when, right? And are you talking to your teammates?
Yeah, if I try to, that's always the plan, the goal, to talk to your teammates. If you're all there together, in the final and it's a sprint, that's really good. But sometimes that's hard to do.
And sometimes, while there are team events, there's not necessarily team results.
No, that's the thing. Like, I was really grateful to my teammates because they went all in to put this result into me at Gastown, and they didn't get anything out of it. They didn't get a podium or anything. So, I mean, they do it for me, and I do it for them, taking risks. So that's a sport. Yeah, it's like a team win.
That's interesting because it really has to be a selfless sport at that point.
Yeah.
Because there's team strategy, but
only one winner.
Yeah. And unless your team is a bunch of crazy superhuman people,
yeah, sometimes that happens.
It's unlikely to get 1, 2, and 3. But
yeah.
So there's times where you or your teammates have to make a choice, or is it predetermined? That choice is determined, like who they're going to back.
Yeah, before the race, usually it's predetermined. Like, oh, we're gonna work for this rider today, or that rider today. But one time I was in a race, and I was like, one of my teammates was, I could tell, like, I wasn't going as well, and she was going really well. So I told her, well, the plan was for them to work for me, but I said to her, I'll work for you because I can see that you're, doing better today. So
someone says, this is Joey Prefontaine. Gastown race has lots of spills and tumbles, and cyclists are very exciting to watch. I've seen it a couple times since I live in Vancouver. So
yep. It's a rough course. There's I can't remember, cobbles, and there's like sewer holes. Like, it's like,
well, even the road that you were
yeah.
coming down on, that did not look like
shaking.
yeah, that did not look like a smooth road.
Yep.
So we'll get to some of these. LD0991 dropping 5 Northern Perspective memberships. Thank you very much for that. And Jim Ross for $20. Well, another great speech from Mark where he brags about what he and his government will do, cause promises for a future is what Liberals just do. Things have never been better for Liberals, but not for most Canadians. Absolutely.
And that's the truth.
Troy Boyarski, good to see you. Member for 29 months. Guts, grit, and hard work and determination. She's definitely a Canadian conservative. Congrats, Vanessa.
Thank you.
Jessica Van Luke for $7. Does Vanessa have social media that we can follow? Would love to follow her very long journey and updates to LA.
Yeah, I do. It's just my name, Vanessa Montrichard. Yeah.
So did I mispronounce your name? Because everyone pronounces it Montrichard.
Yeah, it's Montrichard, but just to spell it out, it's Montrichard.
Perfect. I'm glad I didn't mess that up.
So it's like this.
Montrichard. Yeah.
And that's on Instagram?
Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, everything.
So I think what Tanya's going to do is look at getting some links for folks.
Yeah.
Duda for $20. Vanessa should be proud. Her win was hard won, well deserved, and she has the makings to reach the Olympics. And this is praise from one athlete to another. Be proud, work hard, and you will reach gold. There you go.
Thank you.
And Randy for $2. How did you get into cycling?
I got into cycling. Well, first I was in competitive swimming, and I wasn't liking it. I wasn't liking being indoors all the time, and I guess at the time I wasn't really ready for the full commitment to wake up at 5 a.m. to be at the pool at 6 a.m. And my dad, he was into cycling, mountain biking with his friend, and I said, that looks fun, like I want to do that and try it. I'd rather go outside for bike rides than being inside in this pool. So then he signed me up for a club in Ancaster. It was called NCCH, National Cycling Center Hamilton. It's no longer a club anymore, but that was the first club I joined. Yep.
Amazing. So when you look at the election and you look at all the work that went into the election and all the volunteering that you did and all the work that you saw everybody around, does that feel similar in any way to the preparation that actually goes into cycling and for the racing?
For sure, 100%. I think cycling and politics are they're both competitive. You have to fight for your spot. Nothing's guaranteed. That's what I liked about canvassing. I really liked being I guess it was being competitive. A lot of the people I was canvassing with, they'd be like, oh, you're so competitive, like you want to hit the most amount of doors. And it's true. I would go for hours and hours for hitting doors, and I loved it. I loved talking to people. But yeah, I had a lot of similarities for sure. And
were you at or I should just ask you, where were you on election night?
Election night, election day, all day I was getting out the vote, and then until 9 p.m. I think, and then I went over to the Hamilton Center, like I guess like supposed to be a victory party, in at a restaurant downtown End Zone. So that's where I was watching the results.
What was that like, seeing the ups and downs? Because for a time, the candidate
Hayden Lawrence.
I always want to call him Hayden Christensen. Hayden Lawrence, we were following that, was winning for a portion of that. What was that like, seeing that? What was the energy? And then obviously the eventual result, and then the aftermath. What was that like?
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, going into election night, I was optimistic. I was really excited. Like, I thought we would win, because I was doing some of the get out the vote, and you would go down some streets, mostly the streets that were in Ned's old riding between Parkdale, Kenilworth, and Parkdale. And there would just be like blue signs down the entire street. It said Hayden, like Pierre Poilievre's banners. Like, those were the streets I was mostly doing get out the vote, so that makes sense. But yeah, tons and tons of people were like, yes, 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 yes. So I was like, oh, we're probably gonna win. But yeah, election night, Hayden was leading, and everyone got really excited and clapping and cheering, and then he was just leading a lot, and then it kind of just like matched the other candidate, and then you saw like kind of last minute, like the Liberal candidate just won, and we were all like really disappointed. Yeah.
And did it kind of feel like, after you lost a race, that you were hoping to win?
Almost. Yeah, it did. Kind of different, similar, because like, I don't know. I think I was more excited for the outcome of the election than any race.
Well, I think most Canadians were, but that's the thing about the election. I think people say, Toronto's going to be a mess if the Maple Leafs ever win the Stanley Cup, but yeah. I think Canada's going to be a mess when the Conservatives take government next time.
Yeah,
it's going
to party.
It's going to be a big party. So there's a lot of Canadians around the country that are having a hard time staying motivated. They're disappointed still. We're now, seeing Carney take a majority, not through an election, but through floor crossers, and people can find it really hard to get motivated and continue pushing. Yeah. What would you say to them?
I would say whatever you put into something, you get out. Just keep pushing forward. Like Ned, for example, he lost 2021 election and worked tirelessly ever since, canvassed the entire riding multiple times. Keep pushing forward. And never give up. If you work hard enough, then no one's unbeatable.
And you're on the board of your EDA, which is Hamilton Center.
Yes.
It's very rare, I think, for women to be conservatives, but especially young women. So what got you involved in conservative politics?
My mom did. Way back in...
A woman? What? There's no women in conservative politics.
I know, right?
Hello.
In 2019, I think it was grade 9, was, my mom was canvassing. She would canvass for all the elections, like municipal, provincial, and federal, all for like conservative-minded candidates in PC and Conservative Party. And I think I went there she asked if I wanted to go canvass, and I went to get my volunteer hours for high school. That's what I went for. It was Monica Strelio, an Andrew Scheer campaign I did some canvassing for. Now she's MPP, but yeah, at the time she was running Hamilton Center where I lived. And she got me into politics. And then 2025, like back then I didn't really care about politics. Like I just kind of did it to get my volunteer hours. But 2025, Pierre's message was so strong to especially young people. It really really encouraged me to take part and canvass.
That's pretty interesting, because not only do young people not typically get into politics, young women typically don't get into politics.
Mm-hmm.
women typically don't get into politics, but
Especially conservative politics.
right.
Yeah.
But that's starting to change. What about your peers? Are they interested, or are they paying attention to politics, or not?
I can't really, for the most part, not really. Like, if you ask a lot of people my age, like, what an MP is, like, they couldn't tell you what question period is, what parliament is, or like what. So, I think a lot of kids my age don't know.
Well, that actually brings up another question, because one of the things that we do, as you know, on Northern Perspective, is we educate Canadians on government and parliament. So, you've recently come out of the high school system. Do you recall any civics education within high school? Do you recall any civics education even in public school?
In public school, the only thing I really remember is doing like a mock election. And I was like really young. In middle school, like I think it was Stephen Harper against Justin Trudeau. And I think I remember voting for Justin Trudeau just because, like, whatever. I didn't remember. I didn't even know anything about the candidates. But
you were like 10, so
yeah. High school, not really. College, maybe a little more. Some of my teachers are liberals. Some of them are conservatives, and you'll know for sure.
I won't ask you how you know, because you're still in school.
And this year was your first year, as well as our first year going to convention. What did you think of that?
Yeah, that was an amazing experience. Ned called me up and asked if I wanted to go to convention, and I was so excited. I got to meet all of my favorite MPs. They're kind of like celebrities, like you watch them on TV, and I got to take pictures, meet them, and watch Pierre speak live, so that was amazing.
And you've met Pierre?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
When did you first meet him?
I met him when he came for a volunteer appreciation, and I think it was September of 2025. Took a picture with him. Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. That was in.
It was October 3rd, because that was the day of our interview, and then we all went to the volunteer appreciation
after
that night.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
And Vincent was very excited to see him.
A couple orders of business. Curdy dropping 5 Northern Perspective memberships. Thank you very, very much for that, Curdy. And Jessica Van Luke for $7. If Vanessa wants a kitten, I'll gladly give her one. Come out to BC, and there are great bike trails as well. Well, will you be in BC in 2026?
I'm not planning on it.
Okay. I just didn't know if there was a bike race out there. So probably not, Jessica. And Jessica, with another $7, thank you very, very much. What are Vanessa's top 3 Conservative politicians, former or current, that she would like to meet or meet again?
Top 3? I met Leslie Lewis. I say she was one of my idols. Who else? Jamil Javani. I met him. And who else? I think there's someone else I want to meet. I can't remember. I met Robin Babber. I would say they're pretty, like, my top 3.
There's 2 people who have a word with you.
What the hell is going on?
Michael Cooper. I didn't get to meet him. I want to meet him too. There's so many. I just can't remember.
He's so lovely.
Yeah.
I love him.
Larry Brock and Michael Cooper.
Yeah, but don't make them upset. Then maybe they're not so lovely.
I guess my appearance at committee's not going very well today.
Sorry, Larry. Anyway, well, it's a tough time in Canada right now, and even for young people, like what because you're still in school, you're working, you're doing cycling. What is your outlook on the next 10 years? Buying a house, getting a permanent job, having a family, like that type of thing.
Yeah. I guess I'm not as I guess, like, yeah, there's a job shortage. Personally, I don't think I'm as worried about getting a job as it is affording a house, like putting a down payment on a house. Like, nowadays you need so much money to put a down payment on a house, so that's scary. If the Liberals have been in power for around half of my entire life, which is also scary.
That's true. That's true.
When you say it like that.
Yeah. And this Liberal government, like
That's
same
the thing,
ministers, like from Justin Trudeau, even though he's not prime minister anymore, it's the same ministers by and large. So that's a scary way to put it.
Yeah. I think we need to make a change, and I think we need a conservative majority to make real changes if we can reverse some of what the Carney-Trudeau government has done.
The Immigrant Beaver for $2. Use the force to help PP win. PMO, this is the way. There you go. Jessica Van Luke for $7. Question for Vanessa. Do you think Pierre should resign, and do you think there are better options for leader? If so, who?
No, I don't think there's any better option than Pierre. I don't think he should resign. He's so popular, and I think he's the most... He gets the young people out and he gets them excited, which is the important part. I've never seen crowds for a politician, at least in Canada, than when Pierre comes out. I think if you watch the mainstream media, they'll say that he should resign and he's doing bad, but I mean, I think they're just scared of him, so I don't think there's any better option.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Why do you think they're saying that? Yeah.
And on a personal level, he's just such a fantastic person. Like, you've got to meet him behind the scenes when the cameras aren't rolling, and he's just such a great guy.
He's so smart, and he knows all his facts, his history. Yeah, I think he's the best option for sure.
So do you think the Liberals are legitimately afraid of Pierre?
Yes, I think so. He's a force to be reckoned with, and I mean, I think they know that he could get a majority next time around. So I think, they're scared of him.
Well, that's the interesting thing about Pierre is he's proven right a lot.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because the further back you go in Pierre's career, the more you see him say, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. In COVID, he was literally debating in committee with the governor of the Bank of Canada. It wasn't Mark Carney at the time. And the governor of the Bank of Canada was saying that inflation was going to be going down as a result of COVID and all the money lending. And Pierre was saying, no, it's going to go up. Inflation is going to go sky high. And so here's a person that Mark Carney is trying to brand as uneducated in the economy, and he's predicted that absolutely there's going to be hyperinflation. You don't need an economics degree to actually see that there's going to be hyperinflation as a result of printing $500 billion.
Yeah.
Like, just saying. But anyway, that's me on my little rant about that. Do you follow the UFC?
I do not.
That's okay. Yeah, you follow one sport enough, so it's hard to make room for another. So.
What I wanted to ask is, how do you think we can get more women involved in politics? There is the new association, the Canada Conservative Women's Association, which is fantastic. I had the opportunity to speak to Alicia Vianga, who's the president of that association, and they're trying to get representatives from all across the country, because I think women really, we have a voice in politics. I think sometimes we're just shy about it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think, I don't know, sometimes a lot of young people, young girls don't maybe want to be, I don't know, controversial. But I think they need to be informed of what's at stake, and that's the taxes that go up, that's the housing crisis, that's the job market, what that means for the future for families, and serious, crime too, jail and bail. But yeah, I think the most thing is to look at is like what's at stake for your future.
Well, and one of the tropes that is often used by the left is, the conservatives are just a bunch of mean, angry old white men, and they're misogynist, they're racist, and they don't let women speak, and they don't let women have a voice. What's been your experience?
I haven't experienced any of that. Went to door knocking, had a great time. Worked at Ned's, had a great time with all my coworkers. I've never experienced any of that.
Now, what was your thought when it came out that Sheila Copps had put out this post?
You saw it, didn't you?
Yeah, I was in Barbara Bell did a video with a young girl saying hi Sheila, and I was in the video.
So just for context, I'm sure most people know, but Sheila Copps, this is crazy, while the convention was going on, Sheila Copps put out this post saying, I don't see any women at convention.
No, it was young women.
Yeah, or, well, anyway.
Yeah.
But, so which was so ridiculous because everywhere you looked, it was probably a 50-50 split between men and women. And spoiler alert, the Conservatives didn't have quotas, so there was no cards. So it's not like, you know, people were
No, we had these
like, oh, you know, here's my gender card.
These were the cards that we had, right?
Yeah, yeah, that was the only cards that the Conservatives
Point
handed
of
out,
privilege.
and that was that was the delegate cards. Yeah, and I don't recall any points of privilege being raised at Conservative as well, or at the convention. So, like when you first heard that, what was your reaction?
Well, honestly, I didn't know a lot about Sheila Copps until Barbara Bell came up to me and told me about her, and then I looked at some of her tweets, and I'm like, she's kind of crazy. And she was going on and on and on about there's no young women, I don't see all the young women, and I was like, she's not here, how could she say that? She's just being a hater.
So, do you know what this means, Vanessa? MVDP or POGI? Do you know what that means?
Oh yeah, Matthew Vanderpool and Tadej Pogačar, those are two famous cyclists.
So, which one? I think they're asking which do you like more?
Oh, I like Matthew Vanderpool. Like Tadej Pogačar wins a lot. Like he wins pretty much all the time. Matthew Vanderpool wins a lot too, but he's had a lot of bad days as well. Like sometimes in the tour you've seen him get dropped and not even finish a race, and then next year he came back and won the World Championship. So I like Matthew Vanderpool.
Is it because of his unwillingness to
Give up.
give up?
Yeah, I think so. He's a fighter.
So, ladies and gentlemen, don't underestimate cyclists. So, let's see. So apparently the Women Conservative Group doesn't confirm when you sign up.
Yeah, I was just responding to that. Sorry, I was going to say to NHOJPC, please send us an email, and I will attempt to get you in contact, like in direct contact with the CCWA.
And that's good feedback, because we'll pass that along as
Yes.
well. Because that could just be a technical oversight, and you're right, if you sign up, you want to make sure that there's actually confirmation that, yes, I am now a member of said organization. So.
Yeah, so please send us an email with the details and let us know exactly what you saw, what happened, and we will forward that on.
This is from Jay Sungs. Just signed up with the CCWA and clicked lead a chapter. Lord help me. Bubble Avenue.
Good luck, girl. You got this.
You got it. Lead the pack. And Harman Singh for $2. When is the Pierre bad rhetoric going to go away?
Probably never.
Probably never. And it's going to get worse once the Conservatives take government.
Well, and they are always telling us that our leaders are bad and that we need new ones. And you know, if they were just a little bit more red Tory, but we had a red Tory leader who also didn't do well. So I say, it's our party. We need to do what's in our best interest.
Well, and you know, the thing that I brought up before on a previous video is, whenever I've seen parties want a other party to have that leader there because they think they're weak, they don't say anything. They don't want them to resign. They don't ask them to resign. They don't tell them to resign. They want them to stay there. So what does it say that there is so much effort being expended on getting rid of Pierre Poilievre?
He's a force to be reckoned with. If the mainstream media wasn't, you know, on the government take, I think that he would have won that election.
So are you trying to say that the mainstream media is not independent?
We just discussed that in committee like 2
yeah.
days ago.
Yeah, I did that video.
We have to go back for a couple super chats. I think you skipped a few. Risk and Red Tape for 279 asks, what material is your bike frame made out of?
Carbon fiber.
Very cool.
Is that for weight?
Yes, it's very light.
And very strong.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Jessica Van Luke for 279 asks, what are Vanessa's thoughts on Alberta's separation?
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, I could kind of like see how they're upset and see their side, how all of their money and I guess they think their hard work goes over to Ottawa for, you know, the GTA, so I can see their frustration, but I don't think it would be good for the country, because if they separate, there's a good chance they would get, I think, taken over by America. So that wouldn't be good for Canada. I think it's hard to tell them to, like, hang on, wait. Hopefully Pierre will win. Like, they're tired of it, but I don't. It's obviously not good for the whole country, and I think we need to help restore Alberta and keep Canada as a whole.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking, that if we can manage to get the Liberals out of office in the next election, that Canada's going to heal.
Build a pipeline.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
and I think there's a lot of Canadians in Ontario and in the eastern provinces as well that believe that we need to unleash Alberta. We need to unleash Northern Ontario. We're literally sitting on
A gold mine.
many
gold mines.
A black gold mine, and it's only going to benefit literally all of Canada. Getting that out of there, because you get pipelines to the west and pipelines to the east, and there's jobs and there's resources and there's money, and
so much money.
Like, we could have the best healthcare system in the world. We could have the best job market in the world, and and Alberta should be one of the most prosperous places to live in the world, and that's what they want. And you're right. It's hard to blame them for that.
We shouldn't be paying as much for taxes as we do as a rich country as we could be. We shouldn't be paying this much in taxes.
Yeah, it's like 42% or something ridiculous. It's gross.
I think the tax bracket went up to 2% on income April 1st, so that's that shouldn't happen.
Or did it?
Well, what about the tax savings that they gave 22 million Canadians, right?
Yeah. And thank you to Groove Yard for sending one Northern Perspective membership. Awesome. Thank you so much.
And we have, I think I got that. We have Jim Ross for $10. Thank you. The MSM reacts when Pierre gets any sort of win. He did good and got a win, but he's really losing and in trouble in his own party. Mark has done nothing but travel at great expense to taxpayers. But, he's doing amazing, right?
Yeah, I think he spent more in the past year on catering for his flights than we did on our first home.
I think it was $525,000.
Yeah, over $500,000. That's more than we paid for our first house.
That's double what we paid for our first house.
Insane.
Peter Witten for $2. How many gears does Vanessa's bike have?
I have a 2 gears, like my big gear, my spinning gear, and in the back I have 12.
Nice.
Cool.
And they would probably not move for many of us putting in the highest gear when we're trying to ride it. So, do you do leg press at the gym?
No, I don't go to the gym.
Really? That's actually fascinating.
Yeah, no, I don't like going to the gym. I like being outside. I don't like being in the gym.
So that's why you're on your bike so much. You're compensating for not being at the gym.
Yeah.
That's why. That's fascinating. What about your teammates?
I think for track, like, a lot of track riders do go to the gym. They do like squats and weights, but road riders maybe a little bit, not really too much in the road season. But yeah, me, I don't like being in the gym.
That's it. That's fascinating. Well, your training is obviously working for you. So, Troy Boryarski for $5. Fools multiply when wise folks are silent. Speak to and over the ignorance when it's presented.
That's what we do here at Northern Perspective.
Except when we're ignorant about people going to the gym. So then we be quiet and we listen, and that's it.
Well, and that's it. I think online you're almost expected to know everything and have an opinion about everything, but there's sometimes we get asked questions and I'm like, I don't know, or I don't have an opinion on that yet.
And then we go find the answer.
Yeah.
Listen changed for $2.79, but now we are stuck with the Libs for 3 more years.
We are, but I think we could probably make it the most miserable 3 years of their tenure if we just are constantly emailing, constantly writing letters, constantly asking for appointments, constantly writing briefs to committee. There's so many things that we can do to make their lives just that much harder. And it's not about being mean or nasty or anything. It's about using your voice.
Well, and be on the lookout for opportunists, folks. There's going to be people that may not be on the left and are not in the Conservative caucus. They may try to use this period to take advantage of these 3 years. And you never know what kind of attacks that may come from so-called conservatives on Pierre Poilievre and his leadership. So be on the lookout for that too, because they're most likely will come from people and pretenders out there.
And actually, that reminds me, there is a lot, and there's going to be a lot more disinformation being posted online.
Oh, it's terrible right now, folks.
Yeah, we were getting emails all week about something. I think it was called Maple Project or something like that.
Leaked documents.
Yeah, something like that. And the source that everybody kept sending us to was AI, number one. It was an AI-produced video. And number two, there was no primary documentation provided. So to us, that says that it's not true because, I mean, for example, when Ryan had found all that information from CBC that was for internal use only, we showed you exactly what it was. So for somebody to say, well, we have this huge big report and this is going to change everything, but they don't show you anything, that's very suspicious and is more than likely to be false. So just be on your guard for things like this, because I think it's going to kick up over the next little while because we have a majority government now.
Well, and the other thing, the only thing that I can recall about anything to do with Washington and Mark Carney was there was I can't remember if it was a Senate hearing or if it was a congressional hearing. I think we covered this last year, and they were talking about GFANS, which is this net zero garbage banking network that Mark Carney set up, and it eventually fell apart. And that's what they were looking at. Mark Carney was, part of the people that they were asking to testify. I think he ended up writing a statement, and that's where that basically ended. We've heard no other updates on that. So this is the issue. We're now into a period where I guess people don't feel there's enough real scandals for the Liberals out there. Now people are trying to manufacture them or using a real life event to manufacture a scandal that isn't there. And those are the hardest ones to determine if they're true, because when you have something that has kernels and sprinkles of truth of it, but it's interlayered with BS, or, as Dan McTeague would say,
unmitigated horse pucky,
you end up with something that people say, well, maybe that could be true. And that's where it's very difficult for the viewer. But use the SIFT method. If they don't show any documents and they're saying there's documents, odds are there are no documents, or at least they don't even have them. And if there's no links to any sources that you can independently verify, treat with extreme skepticism. So.
Randy! Have you been hanging out with Randy?
I guess Randy showed up.
That one's loud.
I think that's the point. Jessica Van Luke for $7. The BC Conservative leadership is almost over. We should have a strong leader, and with a possible snap election coming soon, BC will give Alberta a pipeline. Well, I guess we'll see.
I hope so, because this country needs a pipeline to Tidewater.
It's going to come down to voters out west this time. So let's see what happens. And next we have Riskin Red Tape for $7. What do you fill your tires with? Air, nitrogen, helium, or are they solid?
Air. My tires are tubeless. They have glue in them, not a tube, but air. Yeah.
So it's like just legit air. What's the PSI?
Around 80.
Nice.
Interesting. That's more than my car.
Yeah.
Oh, well, bike tires always are way more than cars. So
Yeah.
I think regular bike tires are what, 60?
Honestly, it depends on if you're professional and looking at saving watts or power. It just depends on how much you weigh.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Do you have shocks on your bike?
On my mountain bike, I do, not my road bike.
Oh, so you feel everything.
Yes, on the road bike, yeah. There are shocks on the road bike.
That's crazy. Okay, next we have Libby T for $5. Do you think there will be any investigation into the floor crossers, bribed, etc.?
I hope so, but I think it's going to depend on what they can actually prove. Because from what we've been hearing is it's just kind of been like, you know, two MPs passing each other in the hallway. Oh, hey, you know, you're a really good MP. We could use somebody like you on our team. We could use somebody like you in cabinet. That sort of thing where it's heavily implied. As far as we know, there's no like written stuff, so I think it would be difficult to prove.
And I guess we'll see when and if Mark Carney does a cabinet shuffle. He may not. And if he doesn't, then none of these MPs actually get into cabinet. But the shadiness of this, when you immediately see Matt Jenner go on a European tour, when you immediately see Michael Ma go over to China, things like this, you know, we will see what happens with Marilyn Gladue if she suddenly starts going on trips across the world. You know, oh, well, you know, we need you over in, you know, Bangladesh for some reason. Okay, we will see. But this is the tricky part, right? Is they have to be able to prove something in order to actually start an investigation. They don't have to prove it outright, but they need something. And the light body SG for $20 with the athletic political analogy. Imagine if telling an athlete to quit because of one race lost. So many liberal voters who repeat he lost after every comment conservatives make in support of Pierre. What do you think about that? Like if everyone in the cycling world that you were riding against, not your own team, but if everyone in the cycling world after you came in second at the Gastown Grand Prix started sending you emails and phone calls and voicemails.
And they were saying it on the news that you need to step down.
They were saying, you're done. You're done, Vanessa. You lost. You got to stop. Like, what would you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's crazy. I mean, he did really well for the vote share. How many votes he got? How many ridings he picked up? How many ridings flipped? Yeah, for them to say just, you know, quit, like CBC, they keep saying over and over again, like, oh, Pierre, oh, Pierre, oh, Pierre. Like, why do they keep repeating it? Because they're worried. If someone told me to quit, and I would think, you know, they're worried about me beating them. Why else would they care?
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Because they're worried, oh my goodness, you know, they did really well this time. Maybe next time they'll win.
Even better, yeah.
So obviously there's some
emotional damage
going on with everybody. And the other thing that I would say is that when he actually, you know, sorts everything out, there's going to be, I think, a lot different momentum coming next time, because everyone knows how close that we were. Just like, you know, if you could do that last 200 meters over again, you'd probably do things slightly differently, or maybe a lot differently.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think he came really close, picked up a lot of ridings, and yeah, I think there's some strategies to be changed, and I think him going over to you know, Europe and US and talking trade, I think puts him in a really good light for Canadians. Like, they can envision him as like a leader. And I know, like, even some liberals who said to me, like, oh, he looks like he can be a leader, like, now that yeah, even liberals that I know, they said, like, I think he's gonna win next time, because, you know, he's well, this is not my words, I know he's the official opposition, so it's his job to be like a pit bull and go against liberals. But a lot of the liberals are like, oh, he all he does is fight them, and yeah, he looks better now that he's not fighting them and he's going across and making these trade deals looking like a leader. Those are their words. So yeah, I think he has a good chance.
So even liberals that you know are kind of acknowledging the improvement.
He's putting himself in the leader role.
Lee Busby for $2. Did you get my email about BYD human rights issues?
I have been very ill, and I don't want to say bedridden, but I have not really been doing anything, including checking emails the last
I can
while.
confirm that.
I will ask Mary, and yeah, I will follow up with her.
But thank you for that. And Bliss and Chains for 279. Glad you really outed bribery needs investigating. Yeah, when you literally come out at the Liberal convention and say, you know, this was personally very good for me.
But not only that, but she said, you know, we've been trying to get this money, and I'm paraphrasing, but we've been trying to get this money for the riding, to do things in the riding. And then, like, the day after I crossed, they came up to me and said, oh, you know, like, let's get this funding going for your riding. Like, what does that tell those of us who live in conservative ridings? I voted for my conservative MP because he's amazing, and I don't think it's fair or right or even democratic if the Liberals are doling out funding based on what partisanship the MP has in that riding.
I just heard a bump, so I'm just going to check and see if our son is where he's supposed to be. So
I have a member comment from Craig on the Prairies member for 28 months. It says, to Vanessa, you are an impressive young lady, the type of young Canadian that makes Canada proud. It is seeing the young people like you getting involved and speaking truth that gives me hope for the future. Stay awesome.
That's really nice. Thank you.
Thank you. We met Craig at convention.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was a very special meeting. And thank you to Bliss and Chains for 279 super chat. It says, is there any way to have this government called illegal or illicit? Or,
illegitimate.
Sorry.
Trying to stay within the character limit of a 279 super chat. I appreciate that, Bliss and Chains. No, we don't really have
so.
that.
Yeah.
But I think Tanya made a very good point earlier, actually, which is to, you know, our job is to make this government in the period at which they're in power, however long that's going to be, as uncomfortable as Canadianly possible.
Well, and you guys saw that clip with Ryan and Franco earlier in the week where Franco had said, and he didn't say the partisanship of the MPs, he just said that there were two MPs that had come with like a stack of papers like this and slammed it down on the desk, and they're like, these are all the emails we're getting about this issue, and we're upset with you, Franco. And he's like, well, I'm upset with you. So they do get your emails, they do read them, they may not necessarily respond, but if they have, again, a stack of papers like this of Canadians saying you shouldn't do XYZ, or maybe you should do XYZ, then they're going to take that into consideration.
And so NP Nation, you should take credit for that. You should take credit for all of those pieces of paper that make up that stack. And it's something that we need to keep going. It's, put it this way, this is our version of LA 2028, except it's going to be Ottawa 2029, or whatever your riding is, 2029.
And again, when you're writing to the MPs, please, no cursing, no threats, no name calling, but it doesn't even have to be a long email. I could just be like, you know what? I don't like the idea of the Alto train because it's going to run through my neighborhood, and I think it's bad. It affects me in this way. That's really all you need.
So, Rosades for $5. Thoughts on the idea that Carney getting audited by the IRS for tax fraud in the U.S. and having them and lock his accounts or garnish his wages? So no thoughts yet. We're going to be looking into that a little bit more. But if that is all the case, that would be funny, considering 95% of his investments are in the United States.
Well, and I recall reading some newspaper or some report or something that had alleged Brookfield was skipping out on paying Canadian taxes.
Well, that's because of their
Because they're offshore.
Their bike shop down in Bermuda.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh yes, remember that.
Have you ever biked in Bermuda?
No.
Apparently, Mark Carney has. And in committee, and I was watching this. There were so many things going on at committee; it was hard to keep up, and we couldn't this week, folks. But there was testimony by an expert in tax evasion. Actually, I think he testified to this back in the fall, and Brookfield, yes, this and I think this was on my video, but Brookfield was considered the worst offender in terms of tax dodging for Canada, and it was over $6.5 billion.
Wow.
Like that's a lot of bicycles for Vanessa you could buy for $6.5 billion.
I think that's a lot of bicycles for all of NP Nation.
for probably every man, woman, and child on the planet.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's something. But you know, as it relates to this, like again, people are they're just finding it hard to see the next election show up. So, what do you do when you're trying to visualize LA 2028? Because you've said that you try and take one day at a time, but that has to be somewhere in your frame of reference.
Yeah. So your question is, what would I?
Well, how do you mentally, I would say, balance handling this is what I have to do today until tomorrow, and then I restart all of that all over again, but you still have your ultimate goal over here.
Yeah. Just take one day at a time, just work as hard as I can. Try to get better in everything I do, in like every aspect of what I do each day. Just keep in mind, whatever you put in to, you get out. So if I work hard, sometimes it feels like I'm just working hard every day for no reason, but there is a reason, and results do come from it.
Do you ever have days where you feel like you didn't work hard enough?
Yes, like all the time.
How do you handle those days?
I just try to remember it for, the coming days, to just mindfully, work as hard as I can, and yeah, just remember to put everything I can into whatever it be, like training or school or whatever. Yeah.
And when you were doing all of these things, because there was a time where there was the election, school, and training.
Yep.
So how did you manage to balance that?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty hard. I think at the end of, like, around this time last year, around end of April, my exams were finishing up, and if I had to ride, I ride every day, so I would have to wake up like really early to ride. Sometimes I have to be on my bike at like 6 a.m. and train, and then go to school. And I would make sure my training was done before the afternoon, because I prioritize canvassing so much. I would say I prioritize canvassing over riding.
Wow.
Yeah, I really made sure I had to be there after school, after work, or after school when we met up for canvassing. And even if I had to go back to the campaign office to help out with bingo sheets or whatever it be, I just remember it was temporary, and I just did it even if I got home late and then had to wake up again early. I remember at the end of this time last year, end of April, there was a race in Hamilton. It's called Paris to Ancaster. It's like a pretty famous race, and I was gonna do it. Luckily it started at pretty early, 8 a.m. and that was the day before election day, so it was GOTV, and I had to make sure I was there to do both. So I woke up and I did the race, and I thought to myself, okay, if I finish this, it'll probably take 3 or 3.5 hours. I finished the race, and I immediately went home to get ready and go to the campaign office and meet up with my fellow volunteers and go out and do GOTV until 11 o'clock that night. And then it was election day the next day. Worked all day and was up really late because of the election. I was watching the election, and then the next day was the day I flew over to Bloom.
Holy moly.
So here's a question: what made you feel like canvassing was more important than cycling?
Just really wanted to win. That's all I could say. Just really wanted to turn Hamilton blue, because I'm sick and tired of the NDP being in power for as long as the riding was created. And yeah, Matthew Green was in power since 2004 when the boundaries were changed. And I remember canvassing and talking to people. I'm like, oh, the riding could turn blue. And it was really hard because we only had 5 volunteers or so, like me, my
Wow.
mom, and a couple other volunteers who were like the most committed. It's not like we were out there, like we weren't paid canvassers, like we would go like after school and work and on the weekends, and we worked pretty tirelessly with the candidate. And it was also hard because the candidate Hayden was not like confirmed candidate, like super far out. It was kind of a little bit late. Like I met him at Ned's Super Canvas, which I can't remember when it was. I think Larry Brock was there. But yeah, we were canvass and we did lots of doors. I did thousands of doors, and we only hit 1/3 of the riding, so like 73% was like unturned. But we managed to unseat Matthew Green, which is like the best feeling ever. We were so happy with that. So that was like a victory in its own. Because I feel like I've heard, and I did feel like if he won that riding again, he would have been leader of the party, and I feel like then we would never get rid of him. So I'm so glad we got rid of him last night.
Yeah, that's kind of what we were thinking too, that he was angling for leadership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he for sure was. The way he was acting in committee, he was trying to lead press conferences, and nope.
No, thank you.
And we beat him by like not that many votes, like 600, but yeah.
Enough,
yeah.
No. So Jessica Van Luke says for $7, 2 pilots were caught meowing to each other on the transponder. The air traffic controller caught them and told them to be professional.
I saw that. Oh my gosh. I think I texted it to you. I definitely texted it to my dad because he has like a fascination with planes and stuff like that. So he got a kick out of it.
And Bob Hunter for 2, why are our governments killing us at euthanasia? So this is, a topic that it's been around for, I think since they introduced MAID, and I think it's going to be around for a lot longer. And, having MAID available for, I think for the right reason is, I think people can understand that. But, this is the huge but, I don't think it should ever be offered. Ever. I think people should have to ask for it. And even then, there should be a strict evaluation process. And we've heard many scenarios where, veterans come in, and there was a big story where a lady came in, and I don't even remember what it was for. I think it was like she had a sore back or something. I may be misremembering this, but she ended up being offered MAID, and she said, no, thank you very much. And within a year, she was climbing a mountain.
Oh, yes, I saw that.
This is the silliest thing, and a frightening thing, because people may accept, oh, okay, if I'm being offered MAID, then there is no hope.
Well, then it's terminal, yeah.
When it's not necessarily true. So this is where, Canadians should tick off Liberals by writing stacks and stacks and stacks of letters to tell them this is not right, and nobody should be offering MAID as any sort of option for any condition. Canadians should have to ask for it.
And actually, Michael Cooper and Andrew Lawton have both been doing a lot of good work on that file. So if you follow them on Facebook, sometimes it'll pop up where they've been somewhere to speak about MAID and why it's concerning, quite frankly.
And Darren W., I think, summarizes it well. MAID has a purpose and a place like anything else, and it needs to make sense, and that's it, right? But I don't think they should ever be allowed to offer it. And if people ask for it, then there should be a strict process from then on in to ensure that, this is appropriate. So, Gordon Meir dropping 10 memberships. Thank you very, very much for that, Gordon. Thank you very much. So, Robert Violet says, one of the best podcast video channel on YouTube, Facts and Truth. Thank you, Northern Perspective, for all your hard work. Cheers from the Canadian Pitbull. Well, not to disagree with you, but I think this is a Canadian Pitbull right here. So. She's just probably one of the more humble Pitbulls you'll come across, but that's a good thing. Don't ever change that. So.
And thank you to Leaf Busby with a $5 super chat. It says, we need to ask why the Liberal Party of Canada was done with Justin, and how does that apply to Mark? What core issues did the Liberals have with Justin Trudeau at the end? Pin it as an LPC issue. I honestly think they were just fed up with him. Canadians were not going to vote Liberal anymore because Justin Trudeau was too extreme.
He sunk the party.
Yeah.
It was the popularity. That was it. They were afraid for their jobs.
Yeah. And a lot of people you see online saying, oh, well, Mark Carney is more conservative. He's more like a conservative leader. I don't agree with that assessment, but compared to Justin Trudeau, who was way far left, I think you could say, like, yes, he is more towards the center.
Someone says, so who is the young lady here chatting? Is she a student or other? Well, I'm glad you asked. So if you look to the bottom right, this is obviously somebody who's joined Midstream, but we are speaking to Vanessa Montrechard tonight, and she is one of the rising stars in the Canadian cycling world. She has won national championship after national championship, and last year? When was Tour de Bloom? Last year. Yeah. Placed 9th overall in racing folks that are 10 to 15 years older than her within that race. But in stage 1, she placed 9th overall and ended up placing as the best overall rider in her age bracket in that stage. But one thing you can explain, because I don't understand this, and many Canadians that don't follow cycling probably don't understand this. We think of a race as a race. What does it mean, stages versus the race?
Yeah, so stage is individual stages. So again, kind of like Tour de France, if you follow it. So the first stage is road race. Second stage was a criterium, the one kind of like Gastown. Second stage was another road race. Third stage was a time trial, which is an individual race. It's like on your aero bike, and is the fastest rider wins, but it's individual. And then the last stage was another road race. So there's 3 road races. And there's something called the GC. It's called the general classification. Whoever has the most time on the GC wins the overall race, but you can also win stages in between. So say you won the road race, you get a podium, but if you didn't win the next day, then you would be maybe second on GC. But the rider, let's say on like the last stage, the rider climbed better than all the other riders and gained time, so then she was 2 minutes ahead of all the other riders, and she would win because she has the most time.
I don't know if I followed that, but that's okay. So if I were to break it down, so the tour is these separate events.
Yes.
And these separate events are on different sections of the road.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so you would have potential individual winners of each stage.
Yep.
Or each race, call it like that, even though one's a time trial. And you could potentially have someone do very well in enough stages that they are proclaimed the winner of the Tour de Bloom.
It's just how much time you have against the rest of the field. Like if it be 2 minutes, 5 minutes.
So they add it all
time,
up. I see.
All the stages add up. Yep.
So you could potentially play second in all of the road races and still win because everybody else was all over the place.
Yep.
Interesting. Cycling is as straightforward as politics, folks.
Yeah.
So, and maybe we should start up Cycling Perspective, and then we'll start following. But that's well, I'm glad you explained that, because I didn't understand that until now. So that's good. But this is who this young lady is, and hopefully she's on a trajectory to be a Olympian in LA 2028. That's the goal. And she trains 7 days a week. Did you train on Christmas Day?
No, I don't think so.
Don't tell her coach.
Sometimes I skip training if I'm really tired. I won't lie.
Well, and I had a great conversation with her dad. And when Vanessa was training initially, she refused to take breaks. Like, ever. And during COVID, she was training on like a virtual course, right?
Yeah, on Zwift.
And so basically you can train with somebody else virtually, and it looks like you're on the same, or you just see them.
Yeah, it's like riders all over the world. It's like a video game.
Cool.
So, but she refused to stop riding, and so her dad unplugged it. She kept riding. So he took off the front wheel, and she put it back on. And then finally he just said, "Screw it." you do what you want. And then a year later she won national champion, and there you go. But you do have to be careful because your body can get overtrained, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Has that ever happened?
Yeah, I've overtrained before, and then I would say last year, it's not that I overtrained, it's just I had a lot of stuff going on, so I got tired. And then by the end, by like September, I had a lot of stuff to do, so I was just like kind of out of it a little bit with training. But yeah.
What were you gonna say, Tim?
I was gonna say, it's like politics, right? Where you have to keep going and you have to keep going, and sometimes you lose and sometimes you're tired, but you have to keep going. And eventually, folks, we will get there.
Yep.
Well, it's like Pierre, right? Like a lot of people have commented on, especially during the election, how tired Pierre looked. And he was getting sick, and you could hear him sniffling, and that's just because he was so run down, and his body was just like, please give me 2 hours of sleep. And he said no.
He works harder than I think anybody that we know.
Yeah. And he was traveling everywhere, going to as many events as he possibly could. Like that was the crazy thing, because the day before the election, I don't know where he was before the Oakville rally, but he went to the Oakville rally, and then immediately after that jumped on a bus, went to Peterborough, did a rally there, and then jumped on a bus, and then went to Ottawa and did one more rally there. So that's a crazy schedule, and you have to have that same energy everywhere you go. Like that'd be, imagine if you did like 3 races in one day.
Yeah.
Like, no, thank you. So
It does happen on the track.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah. Immigrant beer for $2. Question for the panel: Goku or Vegeta? Who's better?
I think it's pronounced Vegeta, isn't it?
Vegeta? I'm not sure what it is.
I don't know. I think it's a cartoon.
Well, I don't know. I was like, oh, these are going to be rider names that Vanessa knows, but apparently not.
No.
I will say Goku,
Sure.
which is
yeah,
a completely
let's go with that.
uninformed
It's
opinion.
a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for her.
Jessica Van Luke for $7. I noticed that there is a Bible verse in Vanessa's Insta bio. How concerned is she about C9 as a believer?
Yeah, that was really horrible that vote passed. Yeah, I was really concerned that the Liberals want to take away, like Mark Miller wants to take away freedom of speech and he wants to jail people for Bible verses. I mean, that's an all-time low. There's not much to say about that.
Yeah.
Do you, since you obviously talk to some liberal friends and colleagues and family and whoever that is, does this come up?
Yeah, I think I brought it up with a few people. Yeah.
Do they believe it? Like, do they believe that this is a threat to freedom of religion?
Kind of glazed over their head.
I saw those eyes.
They're like, oh well, like, oh, and so someone said like, oh well, like religion can cause like
Extremism.
like rifts and extremism, and sometimes it can be violent. Maybe it's better if we're just like secular, and no, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I think that's a choice an individual can make to be secular, but don't force it upon everybody else.
Yeah. So
There's also Robbie Sadie's with a $5 super chat. It says Carney is more conservative than JT in the same way as the captain of the Titanic, switching her into reverse and taking another run at the iceberg. Brilliant.
I gotta say
All
that.
right.
Awesome.
Risk and Red Tape for $2.79. Win a gold in LA and then PM of Canada. Oh, there you go.
Oh, it's tall order.
Conservative Leadership 2029 for Miss Mondrachard here. So
Youngest prime minister in history, I bet.
maybe because 2028. That's it's only 2 years away. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, probably.
give her a year after that, because then that's the election. So, anyway.
That's only if Pierre steps down.
Well, if Pierre's going to step down and hand it over to anyone, it's obviously going to be Vanessa. So. He did meet you after all. So, Jessica Van Luke for $7. Thank you. My pastor says C9 doesn't take away our freedom or rights. My grandpa is going after him like no tomorrow.
Go, Grandpa.
Well, here's my rebuttal to that. Then why was the protection there to begin with?
That's a good point, because if you take it out, what's the difference? And obviously there is a difference, or else they would just leave it there.
Well, politicians don't make laws for no reason, right? There is 0 times that I can recall that a politician, A, proposed a bill for absolutely no reason, and B, that his parties or her party said, oh yeah, that's a great law, let's put that in for absolutely no reason, to have absolutely no effect. And then it made it through Parliament, through committee, and then through the Senate, and they all said, yeah, this law is going to do absolutely nothing, but sure, we're completely behind it. I can't recall a case where that's ever happened. So that has to be the question. Okay, so if it wasn't a problem, if it's not going to be a problem now, why was that necessary to begin with if that is not a necessary protection? And then watch the fun begin. So tell your grandpa to ask that question to your pastor and see what happens. Just not during a sermon. So, but well, it's going to be an interesting season for you, I imagine. What's on the docket for 2026 for races?
Basically the same as last year. Not too much has changed. Yeah.
So is there going to be a Gastown race again?
Yep.
In Vancouver?
Yep.
So you are going to go back to Vancouver?
Oh,
maybe.
Yes, that's BC. Yes, for sure.
So there you go. You can pick up your
Awesome.
kitten.
There we go. There we go, Jessica. Have one ready.
Probably not. And your team is still tag racing, right?
Yep, they're actually based in Vancouver, so that was pretty cool.
Now, is tag an acronym or is it just tag?
I'm not exactly sure.
Oh, I asked the bad
Just
question.
Tag.
I asked the bad
It might be.
Just because there is a capital T, lowercase a, and a capital G. So
It probably is, but I don't know.
Oh no! Uh-oh.
Emotional damage.
If any of your team is watching this, they're probably looking at it and being like,
Oh, come on!
But okay, but for us non-enthusiasts, so you have Gastown Grand Prix. What else is coming up?
Nationals, Tour de Bloom. I've already did a couple of races, which went okay. So, yeah.
So and you're going to do Tour de Bloom as well again?
Is that in Tel Aviv again, or does
No,
that
Washington.
change? Oh, Washington.
Yeah,
Right.
Washington.
Tel Aviv was the World Juniors in
Oh, yes,
2022.
yes.
So, and is every race basically an audition for Team Canada in?
They look at everything sometimes, mostly, but no, it's usually nationals.
Gotcha. Rabasays for $5. It infuriates me when a new law is passed that is effectively useless because it is just a mandate to enforce laws that we already have.
Yeah, and I think that was our argument for C9 is, why don't you just enforce the laws that we already have? And Andrew Lawton was actually, in his riding, they were able to enforce where a guy had mowed a swastika into his front lawn to antagonize the other neighbors. They were actually able to take action upon that, and I don't know if the guy ended up charged or fined or whatnot, but so we do have laws already in place that deals with this stuff.
I just had an epiphany, folks, and all of you can help on C9. The only reason this religious protection was taken out is because the Liberals needed a dance partner for Bill C9 to get it passed. So they asked the Bloc, and the Bloc said, we will support you, but only if you take out the religious protection. Well, now that Mr. Carney has a majority, they don't need the Bloc, do they? So the first thing that we need to do is flood the Senate and all the senators with emails saying, we don't agree with this. Send it back to Parliament. And assuming that that happens, then we write all the Liberal members of Parliament and say, you don't need the bloc anymore, put it back. So, and we will see exactly where the Liberal Party stands on that. So this, in a way, could be a good thing that the Liberals got their majority, because now they don't need the bloc. They can put that religious defense back. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, I don't expect them to do that. Well, let's get them to put their money where their mouth is. So that's an idea. Oh my goodness. Someone just made a reference to the movie Hook, which was way back in the 90s, and I'm amazed that I got it, because I said I have an epiphany. And back in that movie, Smee, which is Hook's aide.
It's his first mate.
Yeah. He's his maid. He's his maid. But
M-A-T-E.
there's a scene where you hear a bell go off, and then Smee just like, looks like he was struck by lightning. And he's like, I think I've had an apostrophe. And then Hook says, I think you mean an epiphany. He says, lightning has just struck my brain. And then Hook says, that must hurt. Anyway, so that's my useless anecdote for Hook. But I appreciate that somebody remembered it, and I appreciate that I remembered. So anyhow, so ladies and gentlemen, it's 10:50. Our hopefully future Olympian here
No pressure.
needs to get to bed, but so we're gonna start closing this out. Jessica Van Loop for $7. Did I just watch Carney blame the 2003 Iraq War for today's problems in Canada? He went from it's Harper's fault to it's Bush's fault. It's crazy. Well, it's everybody's fault but him. Remember,
Right.
there was no astronauts on Artemis 2. It was just Mark Carney that was up in the capsule. And he also built the capsule. And he built the moon that it went around.
While it was in space.
Right. And he built the moon. So, give credit where credit's due.
Thank you to Adam Canadian. It's a member comment for 24 months that says, thank you, Ryan and Tanya, our favorite moderators, and all of you in MP Nation. This community helps my sanity in an apparently insane world. We do what we can. And one more, thank you to Myron Enns for gifting 10 Northern Perspective memberships. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for sticking around. It was mostly a break from politics tonight, but we wanted to take a little bit of a break to highlight someone that is in our community in Hamilton, and someone who is really the next generation, with a determination and a ferocity and a competitiveness that this country sorely needs in the future. And we need to look to this next generation for the inspiration for our generation to continue the fight in order to take this country back. Because if there's one thing that I've learned in this conversation from Vanessa and the conversations that we had before coming on the live stream, it's that I like what you said. You want to get something out of something, it's going to depend on what you put into it. So, and it goes back to what we've said even during the election last year. If you put everything on the ice that you possibly can, and by the end of the election you can look back and be proud of yourself, then that's all there is to it. And that must also be kind of, even if you don't do as well in a race as you hoped, at least if you know that you prepared to your maximum ability, you can at least accept that.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and we have Bob Hunter. Sorry, Peter Whitten for $2. Let's put it in top gear and bring it home. Peter
Absolutely.
Whitten, one of the amazing optimists in NP Nation. Thank you, Peter. And I think Peter Whitten's out in BC, so maybe you'll get to see Vanessa at Gastown Grand Prix.
There you go.
Bob Hunter for $5. Jesus is alive in our hearts today. What would be your wish to the 7 billion souls on planet Earth?
Let me just check.
That's a big question.
It is a big question.
Your
Thank
wish,
you.
7 billion souls on Earth. I don't know. I guess that everyone's safe and world peace. That sounds kind of like basic, but that's all I can think of.
Okay.
Awesome.
Well, thank you to everyone for sticking around. Vanessa, thank you so much for staying on.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming. This was so much fun.
It was.
And keep up the training, keep up the fight. We will keep NP Nation updated on your progress now that we're going to be cycling enthusiasts following you throughout the year. And thank you for your determination also in trying to bring forth a common sense conservative government too.
Thank you, and thank you for what you guys do. It's a really good channel that informs people. I've been watching for a long time and just grateful that you guys give everything to this channel.
Well, as you say, you get out of it what you put into it. So we try and put everything that we have here. Sorry, folks, no cats tonight. I think they're afraid of our guests that are here today.
Pazuzu actually had come on the small screen maybe about 2
that's
minutes
funny.
ago.
So that's why someone said kitty cam. But also special shout out to Vanessa's father, who is watching on the other side of the room. And parents are always the unsung heroes of all of their children. Anything you want to say about your dad?
My dad's the best.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining. And we are back to covering this crazy thing called politics in Canada as of tomorrow. It's going to be a busy week. We do have some things lined up, some things that nobody has covered yet. And it is worth possibly the death or survival of an industry in Canada. It's related to metals. We will get more to that tomorrow. But thank you, everybody, for sticking around. Thank you for your support. And we'll see you in the comments.
Have a good night.
Our fathers fought so our voices could be free, that thought and conscience would not bow to decree those rights and only if we choose to take a stand without compromising truth. This land is more than headlines, more than noise and rage. We cut through all the chaos line by line, page by page. NP Nation, raise your voice tonight. Every province, every distant sky, we stand for something. We don't step aside. Truth in our hands, hope in our eyes. NP Nation, this is where we rise. No corner of this country stands alone. What we ignore still shapes the road back home. Power grows when people step aside. We move forward, NP nationwide. From the coastline to the prairies, mountain shadow, harbor rain, we carry all these stories, turn the fear into a flame. NP Nation, raise your voice tonight. Every truth is on our side when we resist despair.